Hey, what is going on guys, it's Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at gear and going over everything you need to know about gear in the 2.0 update to Lord of the Rings Rise to War. So if you guys do enjoy this video, then please do drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. And if it helped you out, do turn on those post notifications and let me know down below in the comment section if you do have any other questions, that is not covered in the video. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so I said this is going to be a complete guide to gear. I'm going to cover everything you need to know. So we're going to start off by having a look at the current gear stats, the gear effects, and just explain all of that to you guys and how they work now in the new 2.0 environment that Rise to War has become. And then after, we're going to go over how to exchange gear, how to dismantle gear, and all of that stuff that that has been implemented into the game with the 2.0 update. And some of it is only available for a certain amount of time, so I just want to explain all of that to you guys. So let's first go over to the gear and have a look at basically the stats of the gear and what strengthening and refining does to it, as well as the effects. So if you have a look, you're going to see that each gear piece has a symbol next to it, right? So this one has this symbol here, the sword, a red sword, and that signifies the sharp blade effect, okay? Some other ones like this has a screaming skull, screaming face, and this signifies the war cry effect. So the effects in game now, there's a set amount of, or there's a set, I guess you could say a set group of effects, and that group of effects can be randomly applied to any gear piece in the game now, okay? So any gear piece can get any of those effects. There's no longer effects that is limited to only certain pieces of gear, etc. So let's go and have a look at the effects first. Then we're going to come back, have a look at the stats, and have a look at strengthening and refining the actual gear pieces. So if we click over here and we go to set effect, we can see all the different effects that are currently in game, okay? And each of these effects have to have a certain amount of gear pieces to actually activate them. So the first effect you have is power overwhelming, and it has a 4 in brackets next to it. That means in order for this effect to take place, 4 pieces of gear on the commander have to have it. So each gear piece that is on the commander has to have the power overwhelming effect on it. If all 4 pieces have that effect, then the power overwhelming effect will actually take place. So power overwhelming, this formation damage received minus 20% when in the stun or madness status. So not too bad, not exactly great, but I guess if you're getting stunned or having a problem with stun or madness, this will help you out quite a lot. Next, you have upkeep with a 4. Again, all 4 pieces of gear have to have the upkeep effect in order for this to take place. And commander recovery administered plus 5%. Seems kind of bad. I wouldn't really bother with that. Next, you have agility, initiative of the commander's formation plus 10 during combat. This is actually not too bad. I mean, it's going to help you to act first in the round, which is, pretty decent, but honestly, it's not great. The better effects are coming up. So next, you have Sharp Blade. This formation attack plus 20 during combat. This is probably one of the best effects that I've come across, honestly. Everyone seems to be running it, and it does seem to be the go-to effect to use among 1 or 2 other ones. So Sharp Blade, keep that in mind. All 4 pieces of gear will have to have it, and when it's active, it will give you plus 20 attack during combat. Next, you have Thick Armor, which is the exact same thing as Sharp Blade, except it gives you plus 20 defense during combat. Next up, you have Flay. This formation, damage ignores 15% of the target's defense. You have to have all 4 pieces. So if you have all 4 pieces, then that formation will ignore 15% of the target's defense. By the way, guys, I want to point out something very important that I was unsure about at first, right? When it says this formation, it includes the commander of that formation, okay? So it's not only talking about the units, it is also talking about the commander. So Thick Armor is going to increase the defense by 20 during combat for the units of that formation, as well as the commander of that formation. Just thought I should point that out. Next up, we have Might. Physical damage dealt by the commander's formation plus 10%. Safeguard. Physical damage received by the commander's formation minus 10%. You have Law of the Arcane, which reduces burn, poison, and which increases burn, poison, and focus damage dealt by 10%. You have Warcry. This is a pretty great effect, honestly, Like Warcry and Sharp Blade is probably two of the best effects there are. And this is for the first 3 rounds. This formation's damage dealt is plus 20%. Remember, this plus 20% applies to the commander as well as the units. Next, you have Evasive Action, which is the opposite of Warcry. This formation's damage received is minus 20% for the first 3 rounds. So pretty good effect as well. And I think I'm running Evasive Action on my Galadriel. So yeah, you next have Perseverance. This formation damage dealt plus 2 each round. I mean, not that great, but whatever. You then have Divide and Conquer. This formation damage received minus 2% each round. Basically just the opposite of Perseverance. I mean, if you're honestly going to be fighting and drawing every time, so you're running the full 10 rounds, by the end, I mean, you're going to be having the full effect of that, but honestly, it's better to just have Warcry of Evasive Action. Even though that's only the first 3 rounds, I feel it's better, you know, rather than having to wait till round 10 to get that full effect. But, I mean, it's up to you. Next up, you have Siege Ladder, Siege of the Commander's Formation plus 10%. So if you are making a Siege formation, aka 4 commanders all equipped just for Siege, then this will be good to have on, you know, on the gear for all 4 of those commanders. Next up, you have Fortitude of Dwarves. When the commander's formation is comprised of dwarves, damage received minus 10%. And this comes in Fortitude of Dwarves, Men, Elves, etc., etc. So these are the set effects. I went through all of them with you guys, and those are going to be randomly, you know, one of those effects will come with every gear piece, okay? And if you have all 4 pieces of gear, then the effect will be active. If you have 3, for example, if you have 3 pieces of gear with Warcry, 1 piece of gear with something else, you will not get the Warcry effect or the effect of that other gear piece either. All 4 pieces have to be of the same type. Okay, now let's go over strengthening and refining. So strengthening and refining gear is the same as always. Okay, when you just strengthen, you can use anything to strengthen. It'll increase the stats of the gear piece. Okay, refining as well has actually changed a little. So you can refine, right? Like you're just going to take 1 refine for the first, 1 refine for the second, 1 refine for the third, 2 refines for the fourth, and 3 refines for the fifth. When I say 3 refines, I just mean 3 of that item to refine it again. However, what has changed about refining is that you don't have to first, so like before, right, if you wanted to refine something, you would have to first strengthen it once, then you could refine it once. If you strengthened it 3 times, you could refine it 3 times, right? You couldn't strengthen it to 3 stars and then refine it 4 times. That wasn't a thing. Nowadays, though, you can do that. So even if something is not strengthened at all, for example, this Harp of LOTR, right, it's got no stars. It's not strengthened at all. If I want to strengthen it, it's going to take 1 thing, right? And that's going to finally get me that first star. However, I can go ahead without strengthening it at all, and I can refine it if I want. See, I can refine it. It will go through if I want. I'm not going to do that, obviously, because I'm not going to use this. But that is the way it works now. So you can fully strengthen something if you want first, or you can just go ahead and refine it. You do not have to strengthen an item first in order to refine it anymore. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty nice change. I for one, do like that, you know. Like before, if I had something, you know, then I wanted to refine it, but, you know, I didn't have the gear to strengthen it, and I couldn't obviously get the effect. Then I was like, oh, okay, fine. We have to lock it, leave it there, and wait. So would it be nice, you know, to have that before where you could do that? But now that is a pretty good change. So now that we've gone over strengthening, we've gone over refining, we've gone over the set effects as well. We're going to talk about the actual stats. So if we look at different gear pieces, we can see, so this has commander focus, this has unit defense. Obviously, this is pretty self-explanatory, and I really shouldn't have to go over it, but just in case I will. So commander focus will just affect your commander's focus stat. Unit defense will increase the defense stat of your unit, okay? If I go over to something like this will increase the attack of your commander. Your commander kind of acts like a unit nowadays in 2.0 of Rise to War. So this is just going to increase the actual attack stat of your commander. I think it used to be a might, but now it's attack. So yeah, that's how it works. Commander focus, unit attack, unit defense. See, this will give +6 attack to your unit, +9 defense to your unit, and then it'll increase the commander's focus stat by 9. Also, I just want to point out quick, right? So you see under the name Harp of LOTR, it says commander HP +430. Or here under Trapper's Hood, commander command +70, right? Or what else? Let's find something with an attack. There, under the Elven commander damage plus 9. So what that means, that is actually the stat from refining. So when I refine this, right, I don't actually have enough, but if I refine this to level 5, it's going to increase that commander damage from 9 to 10. So that's what refining does nowadays, right? Because the set effect is set, right? It's not going to increase or decrease. If you have all 4 pieces, you're just going to get that set effect, right? That 20% damage for Warcry. So refining no longer affects the effect of the gear piece, right? Refining doesn't do that anymore, okay? Now refining instead affects that stat that's under the name. So if I refine this, it will increase the commander damage. If I refine this, it will increase the commander HP. If I refine this, it will increase the commander HP as well. If I refine the Horseman's Helm, it will increase the commands of that commander. So that is what refining actually does nowadays. So just to just to go back and wrap up everything that we spoke about so far, we have gone over set effects, we have gone over refining and being able to refine without strengthening a gear piece first. We've gone over what refining actually does. We've gone over the actual stats on every piece of gear, and we've gone over strengthening gear as well. Now you should know, pretty much how gear works, how to get the effects going on your commander. And we're just going to show you that quickly. So we're going to have a look at my Gimli over here. And as you can see, Sharp Blade is highlighted in gold. Like you can see, it's got a little gold border and the name's in gold as well. That is because the effect is active, and next to Sharp Blade, next to the name, it says 4 out of 4. That's because all 4 pieces of gear have Sharp Blade on it. If I go over to Aowen, all 4 pieces of her gear have Sharp Blade on it as well. If I go over to my Galadriel, all 4 pieces of her gear have evasive action. You see it says evasive action 4 out of 4. It's all in gold, and that means that this effect is active. This formation is getting 3 rounds of minus 20% damage, okay? So that's all you need to know there. Now we're gonna go over to the second part of the video, and this is actually dismantling gear, getting new gear, trading your gear in for tickets, all of that stuff. So if we go over here, and you can see at the bottom it says 29 days left. That is because this is only something that is available for the first 30 days since the 2.0 update has dropped. So if we click over here, we're going to see 3 different icons: equipment update, equipment conversion, and Elven Craftsman's hammer. So it's pretty self-explanatory what each one does, but I'm just going to go over each one with you just to make sure you are not confused at all. So if we click Elven Craftsman hammer, we're going to be able to click here, and we can select any piece of equipment that we want to dismantle it all the way to its base form. So I actually want to, let me actually unequip something just so I can show you guys what I mean. And I don't want to get rid of this blue gear, but it's okay. Poor Dwalin. We're kind of stealing his gear off him. Damn, these stats are actually not bad at all. Oh wait, I have to take it off Dwalin from the commander menu, don't I? Yes. Where is Dwalin? Am I blind? I am blind. Okay, so here's Dwalin. We're gonna unequip his this is I actually, these stats are actually not bad at all. Blue gear is kind of actually you can actually kind of use blue gear now if you really want to. So we're gonna unequip that. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna go over here, and we're gonna go to the Elven Craftsman hammer, and now we're gonna select this. So we're gonna say okay, and what this does is it's gonna give us 11 strengthening materials back. Okay, so it's gonna give us the Herodrum Scarf, and it's gonna give us the strengthening materials. Now we do have 31 out of 10, so that's great. And every day you're gonna get 10 more chances, right? And that is for the first 30 days. So you're basically going to get 300 Elven Craftsman hammer for free, 10 a day for these 30 days that this is happening. Now that we've dismantled it, we're gonna go to equipment update, and this is where we change the effects. So this gear piece came with an effect from the classic version of the game, right? AKA 1.0. And that was ranged figure, damage received by ranged units in the commander's formation, minus 1%. So when we update it, it's going to change the old effect to one of the new set effects. So as you can see, this is going to change the effect from, what was it? Ranged figure, right? It's going to change the effect from ranged figure to thick armor. So we're going to go and we're going to update the gear piece. It's going to ask us, are we sure we want to do that? And yes. So now if we go and we have a look at that, it's going to be changed over. Hello, can I find it, please? There we go. Here's my Haradrim scarf. Now it has one of the new set effects, thick armor. So this formation defense plus 20% during combat. So that is what that does. Now we can go over to the final thing, and this is equipment conversion. So this is where you can actually convert equipment to a random piece of new equipment, basically. So unfortunately, you can only do this to purple and gold gear, and I don't have any. I think I already converted everything, unfortunately. Yeah, I've already converted everything, guys. So I can't show you that. But basically what it does is it converts your old gear to new gear. As you see, it says, consumes one piece of equipment to obtain one random equipment item of the same rarity for the specified slot. So if you have any classic gear, you're going to go over here, you click it, it'll show up. You choose the material, and then you click convert, and it will change that classic gear over to a piece of the same thing. So it's going to change a weapon to another weapon, a headpiece to another headpiece, an accessory to another accessory, a chest piece to another chest piece, etc. And it's going to give you one from the new thing. So those are those three buttons, okay? The equipment update, the equipment conversion, and the Elven Craftsman's hammer. Now, before we end the video, we have one more thing we have to show you guys, and that is the scales over here. So if you click this, it's going to take you over to the respect item exchange. However, you can also exchange gear. So if we go to item recycling, we're going to change that over to equipment recycling. And this is going to show us all the equipment we have that we can recycle if we want. So you can either just select all, recycle everything if you want. It's going to give me 35,000 gold, 400 vouchers. I'm not interested in that. Instead, let's find something with upkeep, okay? So you can also filter, right? You can filter by effect. You can filter by area, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a chest piece, headpiece, or accessory. And you can filter by rarity as well. Actually, hold on. Let me filter by rarity. There we go. So we can get rid of something now if we want. So if I click on this, you can see this is going to give me gold ingots and silver ingots. And those just have different, you can just use them in the market and stuff like that. So let's recycle one of that. Great. And if I wanted to, you know, I could also, yeah, let's recycle one purple, just one. I actually think I need that. Let's recycle that. There we go. This is going to give me 2 equipment vouchers and 240 gold. We're going to recycle that just for the video, for the content. And now we're going to go over to the item exchange, and we're going to go from the respect item exchange down to the equipment voucher exchange. And this is where you can actually exchange the vouchers. So you see I have 72 vouchers, right? And you can exchange those vouchers for actual equipment. So it's going to give you a random piece of equipment, obviously. And it's 40 for a exquisite piece. It's 160 for a flawless piece. Or if you want pure mithril, aka for your uniques, you can also exchange 40 for one piece of that. So we're going to just exchange it for one purple. There we go. And we're going to go back. We're going to go over to our items. And we're going to open this and hopefully get something nice. So there we go. We have a weapon. Obviously, it gives you a one item, by the way, guys. When I said something nice, I just meant, you know, an item we need, though. We have we have a lot of purples. I'll probably actually do with another, maybe an extra accessory would have been more helpful. You know, we're going to use that to strengthen something. But yeah, that is how you can actually go. You can dismantle any gear you don't want over here. You can recycle your equipment at the equipment recycler. And then you can go to the equipment exchange and you can exchange your vouchers that you've earned for random pieces of exquisite or flawless worn equipment. Anyway, guys, I hope this covered everything you needed to know. I've tried to go through everything I can think about in terms of gear that you're going to need to know for the new 2.0 update for Rise to War. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please do drop a like on the video, guys. It helps a lot, you know, with the YouTube algorithm, all of that. Drop a comment, you know, did this video help you out? Do you have any questions? You know, do you have any advice or any suggestions? And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, you know, so that you can stay up to date with all my new videos, whether it's Rise to War or other stuff, and turn on those post notifications. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video.